Well, hello all. Today we're going to make some pickled fish. I'm hoping to go stealth camping. Unfortunately, it looks a bit like rain tonight, and I was planning to take some with, but now I just feel in the mood to make pickled fish, so I'm just going to hope that I don't scoff it all. It's my favorite form of fish. Just to tell you what we're going to do, I bought some frozen hake, baby hake. We're going to microwave them till they thaw and then cook long enough so that the fish falls off the bones. I'm an intuitive cook or chef or whatever you want to call it. I couldn't call myself a chef. So I don't know the time that you cook it for. I just know that when the flesh falls off the bone, then it's cooked enough. When it's just falling off the bone. But anyway, we're going to try and be scientific about this. I'm going to try and measure everything, the time, the amount of ingredients, etc., etc., so that if you want to make it, you can just follow it. But as I say, I tend to cook intuitively. I just sway this, throw that, bit of that. Does it taste it? Does it need a bit more? Then add a bit more vinegar. So basically this is going to be just fish, vinegar and sugar with spices. That's it. Then you throw in some curried powder as well. So it's not only pickled, but it's also curried fish. In our part of South Africa, they don't sell it in cans anymore. It used to be lovely, cheap. In fact, it's my favorite form of fish in general, is pickled fish. So I guess it's because the oceans have been outfished so that they can't have cheap tinned pickled fish anymore. No one's prepared to pay the prices that it now costs. So we're forced to make our own. So let's show you how to make pickled fish. And I think it is fairly South African. So let's have a look. So we have a bag of baby hake, headless and gutted, frozen stiff. Cut it open, throw it in there, microwave it. We'll tell you how long to microwave it that I took to microwave it. Let's do that. So while the fish is microwaving, grab a couple of onions, peel them. I forgot that onions are another major ingredient of pickled fish. Probably the second, obviously, most popular thing. In the army, I was a cook, and they always used to tell us, because the army's got no shortage of food, to just peel off the outer skin and waste it. So don't try to just peel off the thin papery skin. Just peel off one layer of fleshy skin like that, and then it just peels so quickly. Sure, you might lose a little bit of the onion, but in the army, time was more important than economy. And so sometimes I just resort to cutting off the outer fleshy skin. It's too much bother to peel off the papery skin. And these are quite nice onions. They look. Sometimes it's quite hard to get it fully peeled. So for that, I would say you need probably, if that was 800 grams of fish, you need at least that amount of onion. I mean, why not? Because, yeah, why not? So I'm going to use probably at least a kilogram of onion. And while the microwave is going, let's just cut this all up, and then we're going to fry it in a small amount of oil. I guess in the army we always learn to just cut. You hold your fingers like this so that the fingernails are pointing down onto the vegetable you're cutting. So you're kind of forming a claw with your hand. You try not to saw too many times. You know, try to do it in one fast action. I'm not crying at all yet. That tends to be because one doesn't take off and fiddle with that outer papery peel of the onion. If you take off the whole outer layer of flesh, it can tend to be less, cause you to cry less. So if you want a good cry, fiddle around with that outer papery layer and dig into it. And what I do find, if I'm beginning to feel like crying, is I just close one eye and cut with one eye closed, and then when at least I'll have one good eye. It's like if you're going stealth camping at night and you don't want to lose your night vision, just keep that one eye closed, and then when you switch off the light, that eye will be accommodated to the darkness. So there are our onions cut. Now we're going to fry them. So let's put a bit of oil in here. I guess that would be about 3 tablespoons, not too much. Let's throw the onions in. I do really like an electric frying pan. That's quite a lot of onion, but that's quite a lot of fish too. Spread the oil around. So that the onions don't burn. Cover it with a lid. So this is cooked for about 4 minutes while the fish has been microwaving for about 11 or 10 minutes. The whole idea is just to get this to cook till not too soft. You don't want your onion too soggy, nor too hard, but that's getting done quite nicely there. You spread it around so the top is on the bottom's on the top. Everything gets a chance to cook. So this fish has been cooking now for 11 minutes. When I feel it like that, it's not hot. So we're going to put the lid on, cooked without the lid. And I know that when the fish is all hot, then there's a possibility that then it will be cooked. So it's had 11 minutes. Let's give it another 4 or 15 minutes in a fairly powerful microwave. Now back to this. One does not want to overcook this. So I'm going to unplug it because we're going to cook the fish a little bit longer with the onion. So the onion is still very crisp. Do they call it? Well, I don't know what exactly they call it in cookery terms, where it's the veggies are still stiff and hard, something like andante or something like that. Or is that a musical term? What do I know? I'm an amateur. So don't overcook it because the fish is going to come in there, and our fish is going to, so far I think it's going to take about 15 minutes in total in the microwave. This took about at the most 7 minutes to cook. So while we are waiting, let's take curry powder, medium. I would say that we're going to put in, that's 2 tablespoons of medium curry, fairly heaped up a little bit. I think we're going to need a 1/3. Then some turmeric or bori. That just makes it nice and yellow. That stuff's reasonably powerful. I don't think you need too much of that. Let's put in 1.5 tablespoons. Then a little bit of ginger, why not? Not too much, about 1 teaspoon of ginger. That's quite a strong flavor. I must say I do like coriander powder. So I'm going to put quite a bit of that in, a tablespoon, coriander powder. This again also quite a powerful tasting powder. You don't need too much of it. If I had some cloves, I'd put them in. If I had some bay leaves, I'd put them in. But I don't have. And pepper. My son bought me this nice little pepper grinder. You just press it and it just grinds the pepper like that. So pepper, at least 1 teaspoon of pepper. Ground up. Frankly, sometimes for large amounts of black pepper, I would just resort to the old hand grinder. You can't put too much pepper in. Well, I suppose you can, but I like a lot. Salt, about 1 level tablespoon, I suppose that would be. Again, you can taste it and see. Right, let's see how our fish is doing. I'm still going to put in sugar and vinegar. So let's get the fish. So there's the fish. It was 15 minutes in the microwave. To see if it's done, we just see if it falls off the bone easily. It's got to fall off the bone and then it's done. So that was 15 minutes. Now the thing to do is to let this cool down so you can handle it with your hands, because you're not going to debone it when it's that hot. So let's let it cool down for about 3 or 4 minutes. So the fish has had time to cool down, and many folks hate bones in their fish, and I don't blame them. So you've got to take these little, work your way along the back, take all the bones out like that. Don't miss any for those people who hate bones. There are some people. So once you've got the back dorsal fins out, you pull the hake off. You can see it's cooked, it falls off. Then there's a ventral fins. Pull them off. And if you've done that correctly, you also then take the hake off the bone like that. And then you've deboned, and there's no more fins and no bones left in this baby hake. And you do the same for all of it. And that liquid in the bottom there, we're also going to throw in first, but we're going to fry all the fish up. So now we are going to fry the fish and the onion briefly together. I'm looking at the color and I can see that it needs at least one more tablespoon of curry. So that would make it a total of 3 heaped. And just from the color, I can see it needs at least another tablespoon of turmeric, which makes it 2 tablespoons of turmeric or bori. You don't want your onions and fish to get all soggy and overcooked and soft. You want it you just really are wanting the spices to, and don't over stir it. Just let it. People sometimes just over stir things, then it falls apart. So let's let that cook for about 2 minutes at the most. Just get nicely just fried a little bit so those herbs and spices get fried. So while that is frying a bit, let's get some white spirit vinegar. We're going to need at least 1 cup for this amount of fish. We may have to add a touch of water, doubt it, and just to thicken the whole pickled fish, we take white wheat flour, about a tablespoon, mix it in there with something cold, one of the cold liquids. Mix it up so that it forms a nice smooth it's got to be smooth and non-lumpy. This is going to go in more or less towards the end, because once you add that, it's going to thicken it up. Also, quite a good practice at this stage would be to taste it. It's always at any stage, it's a good practice to taste it. So now we're adding the floury liquid, which is going to now make it, if you're not careful, it could now start to get thick and perhaps burn. So do you see how instantly that thickens up? Then you're going to cook it for literally at the most a minute after that. Now it's that just to get the powder to cook a little bit. Now I'm going to switch it off, and really now it's important that I taste it. Is it too sweet? Is it too sour? Is it too herby? Is it not curryfied enough? So when I taste it, it tastes quite vinegary. So I'm going to, and not sweet enough, I'm going to put in 1 more spoon of vinegar, of sugar, and I'm going to put in half a cup of water. So that's a bit more sweet, and a little bit of water, and then I'm going to cook it a touch longer and just see and make sure this is a non-stick pan. Make sure this doesn't stick at the bottom. that it still tastes okay. Let's taste it again. That tastes nearly perfect. Yeah, it's I like it. Fairly powerful vinegar. You may want to just use less than 1 cup of vinegar if you're following my recipe. But I do like it, a strong vinegary taste. Sweet enough, so that was 3 tablespoons of sugar, just less than a cup of vinegar. And now we switch it off and it's done. Don't overstir it. Now put it in a bottle and keep it in the fridge. It'll last for at least a week. If you want to, you can deep freeze it. It'll last almost indefinitely that way. There's our lovely pickled fish, pickled curried fish. Tastes, by the way, delicious. Absolutely yummy to yum. Well, that was a lot of fun. That took probably 3/4 of an hour. I think definitely less than an hour. It was so easy peasy chicken squeezy and so enjoyable. And I thought for a moment I might have messed it up by putting in 1 cup of vinegar, but it's going to lose some of its sourness as it pickles the ingredients. So it tastes delightful now. It'll probably get just a touch more less sour, and the sweetness is there too. So that was just less than a cup of vinegar, 3 tablespoons of sugar. It was about 5 big onions, 800 grams of hake. How easy was it to just microwave it and then take the fins, those spines, dorsal and ventral spines off, and the bones. And then the herbs that we put in were the curry powder, obviously the sugar. We put in turmeric or bori. We put in 2 tablespoons of turmeric, 3 or slightly more tablespoons of medium curry powder. We put in coriander. You can put in cloves, you can put in bay leaves. I didn't have. What else did I put in? Bit of ginger. Yeah, and it's delicious. And now we've got some which we can take up the mountain with us and go stealth camping. I love anything sweet and sour. Look at this face. Does this face look like it enjoys sour things? Yes, also sweet things. I'm afraid I'm not Nigella. I will not be raiding the fridge at midnight to have it. It'll probably be finished by midnight, unfortunately, because I do love pickled fish so much. But we're also trying to keep some for our stealth camp. So I hope you feel inspired to make your own pickled fish. If you've never tasted pickled fish before, I don't know if it's South African or whether people eat it around the world like this. They say it's a Cape Malay type of dish and that people have it around Easter, I've heard. I don't know. But anyway, there is our, I think, delicious pickled fish.